Hi, my friend, to YouTube. I'm here. I want to talk to you guys. I already talked to you and told you um, that I had a miscarriage. I've had a stillborn. My first baby was a stillborn, and I was really devastated, and I didn't want to know anything about getting pregnant again. But time passed by, and I really wanted to have at least one baby. That's what I always wanted, only one. So I keep trying. One time I went to the doctor and they did a test, the blood test and the ultrasound, and they told me that I was pregnant. And they gave me some prenatal vitamins. And I was taking my vitamins and I was happy because I was pregnant. And they told me that they wanted me to go the following year the following month because since I lost my first one, they wanted to make sure that this one was going fine. So I went to get my check, my and they didn't find anything. They couldn't find the baby anymore. They did and they couldn't find it, and they decided to do the blood test again. And they told me, you know what, you're not pregnant. And I thought like, oh crap, what the f? The Now what happened? So they explained me that sometimes you get pregnant and you have what they call micro um, abortions, which means that the very tiny egg came out, and since you're not that far along, you don't feel anything. You're not even noticed that you had the kind of miscarriage. So then I was a little bit discouraged. I was upset, but still I wanted to try and see if I can get pregnant. So I lost my son, Kevin. I had a stillborn on 1988, and by 1990 I got pregnant again, as after the micro abortion. And so I was happy. They did the test. They were able to see the baby, and everything was fine. But when I was probably like 4 months, they decided to do this. They do like a random, like, no, like every when you're older than 30, I don't know. The thing is that they told me that there was this test that they call it fetal protein. So they did a test. They told me that they recommend me to do all the tests to make sure the baby was fine and this and that. So I did it, and then they called me and said, Rosa, the test came out when the protein is too high. So we believe there is something wrong with your baby. So we need you to go to this institute, generic institute. I think it was in Pasadena. What happened is that when they think that you're having a baby that is gonna be handicapped or sick, they send you to that generic institute to make sure what's going on with the baby. So, but they want to do it before the fifth month, I think. So that if the baby is sick, you have the chance to stop the pregnancy, to tell them, I want you to stop my pregnancy. I don't want to have this baby, which for me was really hard. So I went, and when I went to the generic institute, they a couple of doctors came to talk to me and my husband, and they say, look, according to the test, your baby is either spina bifida, it has some the brain is open and that's why it's losing the protein. There is two babies, or the baby probably is dead, but we cannot tell until we do some tests. We can do the amniosynthesis, but that one is a little more risky because you have the chances of poking the baby's umbilical cord and you might lose it. But we're gonna do the ultrasound and see what is going on. So they told me we can see that the baby is alive because we can see the heartbeat. we can see there is only one, but the spine and the head, we cannot see it because it's still too small. So what we need to do is to wait 2 weeks when the baby is bigger, so we can, so you can come and we do the ultrasound again, and we're gonna be able to see the spine and see if it's open or what's going on. So, or unless you wanna do the amniocentesis, and then we can wait for the results, and we're gonna know what it is, what's going on. And I said, you know what? I don't wanna be waiting for 2 weeks. And then they told me, once you, if you come back in 2 weeks, you're gonna have only 2 weeks to decide if you wanna keep the baby or if you wanna have an abortion. And for me, that was really hard, because how am I gonna say kill my baby? For me, that was like killing my baby. I didn't wanna take the decision. And then I was talking to other people that and my brother and friends, and they told me, you know what, it's hard to have a baby with that you know it's gonna suffer. And if something happens to you, who's gonna take care of the baby if you know that it's coming handicap? So they were telling me, and it was true, that it was better for the baby not to be born. But I didn't want to take the decision. I remember I was really, really mad at God because He took my baby, my stillborn. And I thought, like, when you want a baby, you want to have it here with you. But that was not a decision, my decision. It was the destiny of God or whatever it is. I didn't took the decision to have my baby born dead. But when I was faced with a situation when I was the one that has to choose whether the baby lives or die, that was so freaking painful. I didn't want to take the decision. I was like, I even told my husband, you know what? If we're gonna agree to something, I said, but no, I can't. I told him, no, I can't. What I'm gonna do is this: when they say that whatever the babies have, if you think the baby's gonna suffer, that is being selfish to have the baby that way. I want you to take the decision. I don't want to say kill my baby, because for me that's kind of like killing my baby. So I don't want to take that decision. And then I thought how big is God, that even though I was mad at Him, at that time I understood that thanks God I didn't have to choose to have the baby alive or not. So I went, when I was in the on the genetic institute, they couldn't see, so I said, okay, do the amniocentesis. And they told me that after they do the amniocentesis, I have to wait 4 weeks for the results. So I was really I didn't want to move at all, because what they do is kind of like they put some cameras, like an ultrasound, and based on the monitor, they poke your stomach all the way to the baby sac to extract some of the liquid, the amniotic liquid, or whatever they call it. So, and they told me, since we poke you, you still have the 3% chances of losing the baby. And I didn't want to take any chances, because I didn't know if the baby was fine or not. I said, how I have to take care of myself, because I don't want to lose a healthy baby. How about if the baby is healthy? And I was praying and praying and asking God. Even one of the baby comes, the results come okay. But I was kind of like, I just wanted to know if it was a boy or girl that I was gonna lose, because according to them, all the four options, none of them were good. So even one of my supervisors at that time, I was a manager, and she was the area manager, and she used to go around the stores to see how everything was going and everything. And she called me. She had a stillborn, and she couldn't have any more babies because she was sick. So she told me, she adopted a baby, and she told me, Rosa, I know how you feel. I know how you want this baby, but I don't want you to be at home thinking and thinking and thinking. But what else can I do? So anyway, she went to pick me up at my house, and we went to other stores. But I was still thinking. It doesn't matter where I was. I was still thinking, praying God that everything was gonna be fine. And I was like, I couldn't wait 2 weeks. I started a week later. I start calling. No, we don't have the results. But I called the next day, and the next day, 2 weeks, and they said, okay, let me see the results. So they told me, I don't know if it was a mistake or this is a miracle, because the baby is fine and it's a girl. Oh, I was so happy, very, very happy. But at the same time, I was kind of scared because the one before my stillborn, I was pregnant the whole 9 months, and supposedly was everything fine, and at the end he was born dead. So I didn't want anybody to throw me a baby shower. I didn't want to buy anything besides that. I had everything from my stillborn. So people will ask me, what do you need? And I said, I don't need anything because I have everything. And but anyway, people came to see, to 2 weeks after the baby was born. Um, I had my mom, my parents and my sister did a welcome baby, and I got tons and tons of clothes. But I was so scared that I was gonna lose this one. I didn't wanna be at home with another room already made, waiting for the baby. So I thought to my sister that was gonna be my my daughter's godmother, and I told her I don't wanna set up the room and or anything, but please, when I go have the baby, if you when you find out that everything is fine, please come to my house and put the room together. So they took pictures when they were putting all the stickers and the walls and everything, because I didn't do anything because I was afraid. I didn't want to go through the same thing. So I had my baby, and I was so freaking happy. I remember that I used to, like, in a minute I will give her like 20,000 kisses, and I was so happy, and I with all the you see those babies so perfect. I don't know if a mother can see their babies that ugly, but I saw mine perfect. And one day I was so happy, and I was looking at my baby, and when they're little, they all they do is sleep. But I wasn't tired looking at her sleeping, and I started thinking that not that at that time I realized what I have lost before, because Kevin, I didn't have him alive, but having this one alive, I thought, oh my God, it would have been so wonderful to have my other baby, but it didn't happen. So I was reading that when you lose a son, a baby, the next baby that you have that is alive and well, they call it rainbow babies. So I had a stillborn, and then I had my rainbow baby. And when my daughter turned 1 year, a few days later, I found out that I was pregnant again. But because I was so happy with my baby, and I had hard time getting pregnant. Because I didn't realize I never thought I was gonna get pregnant, and I did got pregnant. But then I got pregnant, and like a couple of weeks later that I found out I was pregnant, I I had a miscarriage. So that's why I only had one daughter. But and basically I had three pregnancies. So I had a stillborn, my rainbow baby, and I had a miscarriage. So my daughter is like my second pregnancy, my first baby alive, and my last one. But because I don't have any more kids. But I remember when I lost my son, I went home, empty-handed. So I was really devastated. I was really sad. And when I lost my third one, my miscarriage, my my sister-in-law took care of my daughter while I was in the hospital having the miscarriage. When I went back home, I was waiting on the living room while my husband go get the baby from my sister-in-law, Berta. Thank you again. And um, and when the baby came, I hugged her. I was so happy that at least I had her. But I started crying because I was so upset too that I lost my third baby. And and I remember I sit her on my lap, and she looked at me, and since I was crying, was my the tears were falling, and she started touching my face, and she will having fun laughing. Water, water. She was happy and having fun because how mama's eyes are coming with all this water. So it was really hard, but at the same time, I had Tanya to hug. I wasn't empty-handed like the first one, but after that, I decided that I wanted to had my tubes tied. I didn't want to get the risk, take the risk to get pregnant again and lose it again. Because besides that, I was having a lot of, because it's really sad, and you have because morally you get devastated. I for some reason I thought like how the babies feel when you're losing them or when they're dying inside of you. So I got my tubes tied. But after my miscarriage, I got really sick, really really sick. One day I went to sit down on the couch, and then I decided to lay down on the couch, and I couldn't get up. I didn't have any strength at all, nothing at all. So I went to the doctor, and I told him I want to have my tubes tied. I don't want to have any more kids because I get really sick, and I don't want my babies to die. And uh, so anyway, when I went to get some tests pre-surgery, the doctor that regularly took care of me wasn't there, so they sent me with another old guy, a doctor, but he was old. And when he saw me and do the test, some he told me, you know what? He started touching me, my neck and everything, and he said, "Let me give you some water. I want you to swallow the water while I touch your neck." So he told me, "You know what? I think that probably you're having problems with your thyroid." So he sent to do some tests for the thyroid, but the other tests pre-surgery, they came back. So I went go ahead and did my tubes tight, and I remember that they find out that I did have problems with my thyroid, so they kill it with um, with some radiation pill. So I had to go to my mom's house and stay with them because they didn't want me to be close to the baby because I had that radiation. And they told me, you know what? I believe now that you had your miscarriage because one doctor did the surgery, and then I was seeing other doctors, and one of the doctors that was checking me for my thyroid, he says every time I go, it was months and months there. I had to go very often because they have to test and see what was the dose of the synthroid that I needed. So I remember that every time I used to go there, they will measure my eyes. They will take this machine like goggles and test, and I thought like how come they measuring my eyes? But that happened that when you don't take care of yourself, when you're sick of the thyroid, your eyes can pop out like fish. And I saw one person, and later on in my life, that happens to her, and she had a lot of surgeries, but the eyes never went back. It looks like if she's really swollen. And anyway, the thing is that the doctor told me, uh, we believe that you have your miscarriage and you're stillborn because of your thyroid problem, because that's one of the symptoms. They said that I have this called Graves' disease, and I search, and it says that some of the symptoms for the Graves' disease is stillborn, and they told me you can wait 6 months. Now that we regulate your medicine, you can wait 6 months and then you can get pregnant. But it was too late. I already had that tubes tied. So, um, so that's, I always have problems, but I, for some reason, apparently that's why my name is Rosa, because you know how um, uh, the flowers, the rose flowers, even if you don't water them, they still don't die. And I've been really sick. I've been close to die, and I still here. I still here, and I always been happy and everything. And now, since I know that I almost die, and thanks to God and this person that donated the liver that I got, I've been able to enjoy my life. So now I try to do the best of it, even though I have I'm in disability because of my, because I got the transplant, and then I got ended up with PTSD, anxiety, and some small cognitive impairment. So my head looks like something got damaged, and that's why I have to think, because I know what I want to say, but I can remember the words. So I'm disabled. I'm home, and now that my only daughter has an only child, I've been able to spend time with her, and that's another blessing for me. That sometimes things happen for a reason, and now that I'm home, I'm divorced, but thanks God I've been really, because I'm okay. I cannot complain. My life, I'm happy. I'm relaxed, and I'm enjoying my baby. Things, something that my granddaughter, something that I didn't thought I was gonna have a baby, because I was dying before my daughter even got pregnant, and she didn't wanna get pregnant while I was sick, because she was gonna be my caregiver, and he's my only child. So I know a lot of people go through a lot of stuff. I'm not the only one, but I know too that some people just get it really bad, and they unfortunately they cannot, they don't have a good life. But when I've been really sick, like when I got my um, transplant, after that I had a complication, and they thought I was gonna die. And before that, you never know. It's a lot of people dying every day waiting for a transplant, and they don't find the organ. So I really thought that I was gonna die. So now I'm enjoying my life, and I'm trying to do the best of it. Because when you're suffering and you want, no, God, please, I cannot do this, just take me. They, you never know when it's your turn to your time. So might as well, if you don't die, just live your life while being a victim. So even though I went through a lot of stuff, I that's the way I am. I keep smiling and everything, and I don't take it against other people just because I haven't amount of time, or I haven't so many problems in my life. I'm gonna be mean, and I'm gonna be because I always think you have two choices: be better or be bitter, and I rather be better than bitter. So that's why I'm here talking to you guys and telling you all my stories, hoping that you're gonna realize that there is people that go through a lot of more stuff worse than us, and they came out ahead. So that's why I'm doing these videos, because I wanna share with other people, with you guys, that that you're not the only one going through stuff, and maybe that's gonna give you some encouragement to do what you need to try to live your life, because that's what we always have to try to be happy. And when you get old, you'll understand that is to be happy is to be relaxed, to have enough money. I don't say just to have enough for what you need, and that's all I ask, and that's all. That's what I have. So now I'm happy, and I have other situations that I have to tell you more, later, because I had really hard time when I got divorced. I had, and you already know that when I lost my mom, and when I lost my dad, my brothers, and it's hard. But we have to be strong and try to do the best of our lives. And I hope that you guys are well, and that you're gonna just keep being a warriors. We have to go one problem at a time, and one day at a time, and try to be happy. So I thank you, whoever is watching my video, and God bless you. Thank you.